Welcome back to Crypto 618, and today we are live. We're just doing a live special today. This is Friday over here. Probably if you're in the US, it's probably a Thursday, but I'm in Australia, so I'm doing Airdrop Friday. So that's what we're all on today. So if we have a look at, let's have a look at some of the videos here. So I did this video before about airdrop coming up this Friday, and just joined the sweep widget, and I put the links below. And I think also here that last live stream last week I did something different. I put that in the comments, but this one's a little bit better because no one else gets to see your address and stuff like that. So that's what I've decided to do with the sweep widget. So that's all pretty cool. So I'll be giving away a airdrop, so that'll be fun, and I'll notify the winner, and they just need to respond with their address, their Binance Smart Chain address, so I can send them the airdrop. And the airdrop will be for Stampede bonds. So if you're not sure how that works, it's on Elephant Money. You can have a look down here, and when I send through the airdrop, you just got to make sure you qualify. Of course, you got to make sure that you are in this partner area, and that is checked. And then when the airdrop is sent to you, it will appear in the pending trunk here. And then the way you access that is you come along and you click on bond, and you bond some more trunk, and then it will go it'll add to your bonds and your rewards and roll over into that way. Now, just remember, you need over $101 in bonds to qualify for that airdrop as well. So that'll be in the description. So that's cool. So we'll get into that. But before we get into the airdrop, let's have a quick look at what's going on. So we'll have a quick look at the market first. And while we're on live, if you have any questions, put them in the chat because I can see that. G'day Scott, how you doing, mate? So yeah, just if you got any questions you want to ask, I can answer them while we are on live for the moment. So we won't be too long this morning. We're just going to announce the winner and just go through some charts here. So that's cool. Just want to make sure my audio, can you hear me? Just put some comments, and if you can hear me, if my audio is good, that would be great. Thank you. So let's have a quick look at at BTC. So BTC, we've had we've had this little breakout here, which was above this previous is about 45, and everyone was watching for this, and it broke out above, which was really good. The volume, wasn't very exciting. There wasn't much volume on that breakout. So that sort of, if you have a look at that particular day there, you can see how the volume was really low for that. And when you sort of see a low volume on a breakout like that, it's sort of not convincing. When you see something like, maybe you sort of tend to see it more with the days that it goes down. But when you see over here, maybe like this really a large breakout. So this was sort of a breakout here, and the volume came through. Well, there was no real volume with this, but the price did go up, and I think we hit maybe 48, about 48k, which was pretty cool. This is the highest it's been all year, and then essentially in the last 3 days it's been dipping down, and the volume has actually been less than that. So even the volume is kind of dying off on the downward movement. So this indicates to me that we might hit like a floor here and then continue on up. That's what I'm thinking at the moment, just by having a look at the volume. But we'll see what happens there. So this is what's going on with Bitcoin. And of course, if you've got a lot of money and let's say you're a whale, I don't know, over 100,000, maybe $1 million, and you want to play, you can play in this market, but also you can get into other upcoming projects. So for example, I've been talking a lot about Elephant Money lately. I've done a bunch of vids. Probably someone's going to ask me sooner or later when I'm going to do a vid on something else, and I will. Just that before I was doing a lot of vids on different reviews on a lot of coins, and they just weren't performing. And when I come across Elephant Money, it's a real performer. So I'm looking at finding more more tokens like Elephant Money, and as long as they meet my criteria, I will talk to you about them. So let's have a quick look at the Elephant Money chart, and let's go from here. So let's have a look. Wow, so if we back out a bit, if we go back here, we're looking at, actually we look at 15 minutes. Let's look at the daily. That looks pretty crazy on that chart. Okay, so let's have a look. At this point here, we were going pretty parabolic, you know, some really big gains. If you got down here, if you bought anywhere in this period or even in pre-sale or any time during the year, you would have had a really good run. So, you know, is it going to last? So a lot of people are saying, is it going to keep going up? And initially, I thought to myself, no, there might be some sort of dip, but I didn't think there was going to be any dip anytime soon. But there was a lot of big whales that came into this. So if we just make that a little bit bigger, you can see we had this huge, probably 2 or 3 days of these huge green candles. And the volume, give you an idea of the volume, like that day was 4.86 million. Previous day was 4.6 million, 2 million. So like 2 or 3 days there, $6 million went in. Now on this particular day here, which I'll go into, this, you know, it went around about nearly about 42% down. So we'll go back to a 15-minute chart and have a quick look what happened. So let's go back out a bit. So we had this long, and you'll see this at this point, there was a lot of volume coming in on the 30th of March. You can see these spikes and this volume here. And this sort of behavior here is pretty much generated from the protocol. But these other big events is when when whales come in to the market. And the way you know this, if you're on Dex Screener, you can just click on here and you can go 100,000, 1, 2, 3, for filter, and you can just scroll up and you can see when these transactions for over 100,000. Literally today, April the 1st, there was 787,000 was sold in one transaction. So, you know, this is what causes this, and there was a couple there that are a couple 100,000. But if we look, you know, if you were looked at the previous days, you would have seen the equivalent money come in. So you can have a look here on March 30th, there was big inflows, $500,000, 400,000, 400,000. And that started, you know, essentially from March the 22nd onwards. So if we go back, these were sort of big amounts. So if we go back a little bit, yeah, so from March 22nd, from this period of time here, there was some big buys coming in, and it wasn't until the 29th that there was like $500,000, $1 million went in. And what happens is, this was on the 29th, we have a look on the chart here, that date was about 29th. So they were confident. There was 3 days in the market that was showing a breakout. It was green. And so, you know, it's a lot of these people with some serious money want to get in and trades and, you know, can double their money. So if they look at something like Elephant and they know it's going strong, they could put $500,000, $1 million in here, and then, you know, if they can double their money or make a big chunk, they're turning from 1 million into 2 million. So this is what happens. So they buy, and then what happened is essentially the market, instead of continuing to go up, we had this, the market sort of turned. And the moment that market turned, that's when we saw this here, when we saw these sells. Because at some stage, as soon as the market overall turns, then anyone that's invested a lot of money, especially if they've done a lot of trading, they want to make sure that they're going with the trading. So if the market's great. As soon as the market turns, they want to get out. And so they would be selling out of this. And this is what causes cascade down. Now it's, you know, significant. It went down maybe 40% or something like that. It's a lot. But we've had some huge gains on this. Some people are already 4, 5, 6x up since I started talking about it. People who got in a long time ago, you know, way more than that. So, but really, effectively, it only went back to around about the 30th. So the whales, remember, this is actually pretty healthy for the ecosystem. And the reason is, let's say $1 million gets traded, $1 million goes in and $1 million goes out. Well, every time that happens, there's a buy and a sell, and there's a 10% tax. So essentially, on $1 million, there's 100,000, another 100. That's $200,000 that's taken from that whale and put into the whole ecosystem. And essentially, this is what's going on. So this, massive dump here, all this extra money, 20% of it is now in elephant ecosystem. Same here, we've got another dump today, and basically there's not as large, but there's some sell-off happening now, and another 10 to 20% is being taken out of that. So all this is adding to the liquidity that is being locked up by the protocol. So this is fantastic news, and it's also going to be distributed to the elephant holders as soon as the grave hard hits 51%, and I think it's halfway there at the moment. So yeah, I think this is healthy to have these little dips here, because some people question how things can keep going up. Well, they don't keep going up because people want to make money, and they will decide to sell out when they're ready. But this here activity is not any of the whales or the original people that got in. This is just newcomers coming in, and I suppose taking advantage of what a great chart it is, and waiting for the market to be on their side. So this will be all what I consider this is happening. Once this stops selling here, we're going to see this continuation of this, and probably in a few days we'll be back up to all-time highs again. That's what I'm thinking is going to be happening. So we'll see how that pans out. So yeah, I just thought I'd share my thoughts on elephant, because I've been talking about it. But this is what happens when some serious money does sell. But remember, overall, if we go back on the daily, this is what it looks like on the daily when you go back out, and that's where we're at. Now, if you were, hey, say you got in here, like I think I got in here, a lot of elephant, and I could be down on my next purchase. That doesn't matter to me, because I see the long term of it going up, and I got no issues with that. But the worst thing you could do now would be to turn around and sell because of this, just because nothing's changed. This is just some big players that are moving the market, and it'll continue on up because of the nature of the protocol, so I wouldn't worry about that. So yeah, that's probably give you a summary of what's happening there. We've covered BTC, and I still think we're at a point now where we might see a reversal again, because this is essentially was resistance, and now we've come back and touched that support, so we could have a turnaround and continue on up, in which case it'll break 48, and the next level will be probably testing is 52k, and then perhaps the next level will be around about 55k. So yeah, if it continues, that's what I see going on here with Bitcoin, which is pretty cool. All right, so I think we'll wrap it up. So what I'll do is we'll just go over to the sweep widget for the Stampede airdrop. So I did put some links below. This has finished, and we have a winner, and the winner is Scott. So what I'm going to do is, congratulations, I'm going to send Scott an email, and I'll just get Scott to reply with your wallet address for Binance Smart Chain, and that way I can send you $20 of Stampede airdrops. That's pretty simply what will happen. As soon as I get your address and confirm that you are in my team, I'll come along here and I'm going to airdrop you. I'm going to put your address in here and put in $20 worth, and what will happen is that'll appear in your pending, and all you need to do is bond some new trunk. I think the minimum is about $2 a trunk you can bond, and then that your airdrop then will come into your how much total bonds you have. Just remember, you need 101 to begin with. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. I'm excited for Scott, and I'm also excited for the other entry. And at the moment, we don't have many entries, but that's okay. I'm only a new channel. We're just getting started, and it's not like we're airdropping $5,000. I'm sure we'd have a few more entries, but that's okay. I'm sure everyone's happy about that. So next week, we'll be doing another airdrop, and I'll notify you that. Now, if you want to get on the airdrops, all you need to do is go to the Crypto 618.1 website, and basically you just click on subscribe, and you can subscribe for free, put your name and email in, you can sign up for free. You do the monthly paid if you want, you just get some extra stuff with that. But if you sign up for free, I'll notify you when the airdrops are, and then if you're part of my team, you can participate in those. And over time, we're going to get those a little bit bigger and a bit more exciting. Now, I do have a question from Scott. So Scott says, what does the Stampede button under the roll and claim button do? Yeah, so I'll answer that one. That one is a question we get asked a lot. So this little button here, this is in the section for Stampede perpetual bonds. So what happens is every time you roll and claim, what that does is it puts it in a batch. So it doesn't get added into the blockchain until this Stampede button is pressed. So this is like a community button. And essentially what happens is it's to save on gas fees. So if every time you, let's say, rolled or claimed, that would create a lot of transactions. And what they do is, this is a recent addition, so what they've done now is to save on gas fees, all the rolls and claims are put into here. So you can see now that says Stampede $26,000 in trunk. So these $26,000 that have been paid in rewards, both from rolling and claiming. So this is how much is in there. And the moment this button is pressed, and then you pay the gas. Now, I'm not sure what the gas is because I've never paid it, but it's probably significant gas fee. So if you've got feeling, like you want to contribute to community, you can certainly press that and pay the gas fee. I'm not sure how much it is at the moment, but once you press it, it'll open up Metamask and tell you. And that's just a community thing there. You don't have to worry about it. Mainly the big whales that are in elephant money, they usually press it when they see this amount in there getting quite big. So that's all it is. You don't have to really press it, but you can watch it go up and then it'll go back to zero when someone presses it. So there's a lot of community buttons on the interface. For example, under rewards, under the reserve is trunk and performance, and these exactly the same thing. At any time, you can click on these, and these will manually cause the rewards to be distributed. So that's it's just a manual way of doing it, but these are done automatically as well. And then if we have a look at, I'm just trying to think if there was any other sections. No, I think that's the main community button. There is another button over on Elephant Money. I think it's in here in the dashboard. I don't know if that connected. That's okay. So come down here. This one's already finished. This is claim, not common. This is liquidity drive. That's already finished. And this is the graveyard rebalancing, which you can press. And of course, you'll pay a fair bit for gas. But you don't have to press those buttons. But that rebalancing of the graveyard, that is to do with this graveyard when it hits 51%, because when it hits 51%, that's when it takes that 1% and goes back down to 50%, and then distributes half that to the holders, and also the other half goes to locked up in the liquidity pools. And this is what this button does. So yeah, that covers about it. G'day, Andy. Thanks for joining us. So I think that covers it for some of the questions. If you've got any last questions, pop them in the chat now. Otherwise, we'll finish up. I'll just close some of these windows out. Cool. And just our winner again, in case you missed it before, our winner is Scott. So very excited that Scott has won the airdrop. And I'll be doing these airdrops every week, so watch out for the sweep widget. I won't be putting in the comments or anything like that. There's too many scammers in there, but you will see it in the description, and also you will get notified if you sign up and subscribe to the website. That's cool. All right, I think that's all we have for today. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, I encourage you to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so you can get updates. And if you want updates as soon as they happen, then you just come along over the website and subscribe. You can also check out the resources page, and on the resources page, we've got links to the private Discord server, which is on Buy Me a Coffee. It's like Patreon. You can always join with the conversation there. I've only just started that, so we've got some just only a couple of members already, which is awesome. I appreciate that. And also part of this, we get to talk crypto and talk about new projects, and basically any questions you've got, we can talk about that in there. So that's a pretty good place for that. Also in the resources section, we've got, you can check out 100x Crypto Academy, and also Crypto Resource List. That's another resource you can check out as well. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Too happy to help you out on this project. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks, guys. See ya. Bye.